This video covers how to make a Google folder and how to put images in it that you may use for your Crazy 8. Again, in week 6, if you go down, so here are the resources. Again, there is a list of sites you may use. You're going to find at least 12, even though you're going to probably use about half of them, just so you have some other options. So again, think about what is your focal point going to be? What are things you want to put around it? So keep that in mind. But what you're going to submit for this is a URL to the Google folder you are going to create. So the easiest way to do this is to start by going to your Google Drive. If you haven't made a VAT folder, you need to make a VAT folder. And to do that, you just go New, Folder, give it a title. It'll appear. Inside of there, you want to make one specifically for your Crazy 8. So now I have my folder. Now I need to find some images. So you can go to StockStat. So maybe for this one, I want to see like flowers. If you see the little like star up above, it's a sponsored link by Shutterstock. If you don't see one, it means you don't have to worry about watermarks. So if you find ones you may want to use, let's scroll down. Maybe I want something like this. So when you find it, there's a free download button. So you can either click there and it will download, or you can right click on it and save as. Just make sure it's a JPEG and also download there. If you do get one of the sponsored ones, make sure that you don't click on it and save as, because it'll come with a watermark. You need to free download it. So that would be one way of getting an image. And again, there's a bunch of them here. So maybe you want to try something in burst. So maybe I want to see some pictures of cities. So again, click on it. You can do a high res, low res. Ideally, I'd go with a high. You'll download. Then you just need to go back. And again, each of these, you can look up different things. This one's a little bit more kind of edgy, if you will. It has more kind of weird kind of things. So just be aware. It'll be a little bit more kind of playful. Again, like, I don't know if you want a woman shoving Cheetos in your face, but if that's what you want, there you go. So just be aware this one is a little bit different. But again, you may find something interesting you may want to use. And again, there's always a little free download button. It'll download it. Or again, you can right click and save as. If you want to use Google, you can. But if you look up, say, images of keys, make sure this is going to be high So it's got to be like in 600 by 600 kind of area. This one's a little bit small. So you want something with decent resolution. Like this one would work. And sometimes you actually need to right click, open the image to look at it to make sure it's of that high quality. Because if you would just grab this, sometimes this is what's called a thumbnail. So it's actually a smaller version of the image. Where if you open it up and look at it and then save it, you will get a higher quality image. If it just says like image or download, you're getting a thumbnail. So right now I've got some images. So next to this is your little icon for Google. You click here, you go to downloads. It'll ask to show in the folder. Click on show in folder. This will appear. Ideally, if you can slide this slightly off to your side of your screen, and then you'll click back on this. You can downsize this, but then shrink this in. Because then you can actually open your little folder you created. And you have both active. And then all you have to do is basically highlight and drag over. So there is, again, some images. And then what I need to do is click here, go to share, click down here. It'll show you a link. And then you need to make sure, ideally, that anybody who has a D155 can view it. If you really want to expand it, you can add it as an editor. But all you do is make sure it says view. Then you copy that link, because that's the URL. And then that is what you put into, when you submit this, that is what you put into the submit. It'll ask you what is the URL, and that is the URL. So that is how you make a resources folder.